Now, I didn't see the sturgeon, but the story's told around here about a guy out at a Brickyard Landing years and years ago, caught one several 100 pounds and kept him tied up to his dock until somebody somewhere could come get him for the eggs out of him.
For a long time, Atlantic sturgeon were thought to have been extirpated from the St. Mary's River. No one had seen any juveniles or really caught any sturgeon for decades. So one afternoon, I get a picture and a text of one of our technicians grinning and holding up a baby sturgeon. That was the first juvenile that had ever been seen in this river. It was really exciting.
The St. Mary's River forms the border between northeast Florida and southeast Georgia. People have inhabited this water and wildlife corridor for thousands of years. From the Okefenokee Swamp, the St. Mary's River flows 130 miles to the Cumberland Sound and the Atlantic Ocean. Well, people come together for the imperiled sturgeon and the St. Mary's River community before it is too late.
This is a very pretty river, especially during low water. You get to see the white sandy banks. We've got a few areas identified from the imagery that exhibit signatures of hard substrates, and we want to come back and get our eyes on these substrates. The only way to do that is to get in the water. 2 foot. We'll never know if sturgeon spawn there until we do a lot more investigation, you know. Ooh. Yep. That's gonna happen. You all right? Really, the only thing that we know is that there are still sturgeon in the St. Mary's River. Because we've seen the young juveniles, but we don't know where they spawn, we don't know when they spawn. That is our quest today, to find some areas where spawning might occur. We have no idea of how many fish are left here and what their trajectory is. Is this a recovering population? Is it continuing to decline? We have to know what they're doing right now to know what we can do to help them.
So my job as the St. Mary's River Keeper is to be the voice for the river. Right now we're on the Georgia side of the St. Mary's River. So we're heading towards the headwaters of the St. Mary's River, which is the Okefenokee Swamp. The sturgeon need a healthy river to survive, and it's an endangered species. So protecting the river, you're protecting the sturgeon. Protecting the river also has a human component of it. People go fishing in the river, they recreate on it, they go swimming in it. With all of the development and the threats on the horizon, and with climate change, we want to keep an eye on the salt levels in the river, the dissolved oxygen levels, the temperature, especially as they relate to the sturgeon. We're monitoring this entire river, its tributaries, and the estuary. And we train citizen scientists who go out and do these samples for us.
All right. First of all, it's completely lights out down there. I mean, as dark as can be. But flashlight lights it up a little bit. Solid outcrop of stone. It's either limestone or sandstone.
They really have like 3 distinct habitats that they need. They need their upriver hard bottom spawning habitats where they lay their eggs and where the juveniles hatch out. Oh yeah. The adults need their offshore feeding habitats where they can travel and find food. But in the middle, in the estuary, that's where the juveniles have their nursery habitat, and that's really important. We really don't know very much about them at all. It's probably the most mysterious sturgeon river, certainly in Georgia. So the St. Mary's being at the southern edge of the species range, it's going to be the first river experiencing the effects of climate change. And this year is one of the hottest that we've seen, probably the hottest we've seen. We had to stop fishing because it got too hot for us to fish according to our permit.
This year we captured what, 2, previous year and 3. What do you got?
Sturgeon.
Sturgeon!
It's about the size you guys want to catch. 4.0 pounds.
Recovery to pre-harvest fishery levels will take centuries. But we don't really have centuries here with climate change and, potential other threats. St. Mary's is a really different river than a lot of the other rivers that we do our sturgeon research in Georgia. This really blackwater river, it's very short. So it probably never supported as large of a population as a river like the Altamaha, which, had thousands and thousands of sturgeon at one point.
All right, this is a new one.
This river here is different from the Altamaha. This is a complete different river here.
Tale of Two Rivers, the never-before-told story of sturgeon and people in the St. Mary's and Altamaha rivers. Coming soon.